Welcome back to my channel. Today's story is one that's been quietly bubbling under the surface for years, whispered in corridors, hinted at by insiders, and now finally spoken aloud. Insiders, and now finally spoken aloud. Another former staff member has come forward with a shocking account of working with Andrew, and their words are blunt, emotional, and impossible to ignore. According to them, his behavior wasn't just difficult or demanding. It was so rude, so demeaning, that at one point they say they genuinely wanted to deck him. This is not gossip. This is a first-hand experience from someone who was there, day in and day out. For a long time, Andrew has been surrounded by controversy. From public scandals to strained family dynamics, his reputation has taken hit after hit. But behind the palace walls, away from cameras and carefully crafted statements, there's another side to the story. Carefully crafted statements, there's another side to the story. A side that staff members were expected to endure in silence. Until now. The former staffer describes starting the job with excitement and pride. Working within royal circles is often presented as an honor, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There are traditions, prestige, and the sense that you are part of something historic. At first, everything seemed normal. Formal routines, strict protocols, and high expectations came with the territory. But it didn't take long for the atmosphere to change. According to the staffer, Andrew had a way of speaking to people that cut deep. It wasn't just bluntness or stress. It was personal. Instructions were delivered with a sharp edge, often accompanied by dismissive looks or sarcastic remarks. Simple mistakes, the kind anyone could make under pressure, were met with disproportionate anger. Instead of correcting issues calmly, he would belittle the person in front of others, leaving them humiliated. One incident stands out vividly in the staffer's memory. During a particularly busy day, something minor was misplaced. Nothing important, nothing that couldn't be fixed within minutes. Andrew reportedly exploded. His voice rose, his tone turned cruel, and he unleashed a tirade that seemed less about the mistake and more about asserting dominance. The staffer recalls standing there, clenching their fists, heart racing, thinking, "I have never wanted to hit someone so badly in my life." What made it worse was the lack of accountability. In that environment, staff members had little power. Complaining felt impossible. Speaking out could mean losing your job, your references, and your future prospects. So people swallowed their pride, forced smiles, and carried on. The former staffer says this culture of silence allowed the behavior to continue unchecked. They also describe a pattern. Andrew would be charming when it suited him, especially in public or around people he wanted to impress. But behind closed doors, the mask slipped. Staff were treated as invisible, or worse, as obstacles. Requests were unreasonable, expectations constantly shifting. If something went wrong, blame always traveled downward. The emotional toll was heavy. Anxiety became constant. Every knock on the door, every summons, came with a knot in the stomach. The staffer says they began to dread going to work, lying awake at night replaying interactions and wondering what over time, they noticed they weren't alone. Other staff members shared similar experiences in hushed conversations. Quick glances, raised eyebrows, and quiet warnings were passed along to new hires. Everyone knew what to expect, but no one felt safe enough to challenge it. The former staffer believes this unspoken understanding created a toxic environment where bad behavior became normalized. The breaking point came after yet another confrontation. This time, the staffer had done everything right. Still, Andrew found fault. The criticism was relentless and public. That's when the thought crossed their mind again, stronger than ever. Not out of violence, but out of sheer frustration and helplessness. They realized something had to change. Eventually, they left the role. Walking away wasn't easy. There was fear, uncertainty, and the sense of giving up something prestigious. But there was also relief. The staffer describes feeling lighter almost immediately, as if a weight had been lifted. Only after leaving did they fully understand how much the experience had affected their confidence and mental health. So why speak out now? The former staffer says it's about truth and accountability. For years, narratives have been carefully controlled. Public images polished. But real people were impacted behind the scenes. Speaking out isn't about revenge. It's about ensuring that these experiences aren't erased or dismissed. This account also raises broader questions about power and privilege. When someone holds status, wealth, and influence, how often are their actions excused? How many people feel they must endure mistreatment because the person responsible is considered untouchable? The former staffer hopes their story encourages others to share their own, not just about Andrew, but about toxic workplaces everywhere. Since this testimony emerged, public reaction has been intense. Many viewers and readers say they're not surprised, pointing to past reports and rumors. Others express shock at the level of disrespect described. Some former palace employees, while not naming names, have hinted that the story aligns with their own experiences. What's clear is that this isn't an isolated complaint. It fits into a larger pattern that's becoming harder to ignore. Each new voice adds another piece to the puzzle, challenging the polished image presented to the world. Andrew has not publicly addressed these specific claims, and history suggests responses, if any, will be carefully worded. But silence also speaks volumes. For the former staffer, simply being heard is a step forward. As audiences, it's easy to consume stories like this as entertainment. But it's important to remember the human cost. Behind every exposé is someone who carried stress, fear, and humiliation for far too long. Listening matters. Believing matters. This story also serves as a reminder that respect should never be optional, regardless of title or rank. No position grants the right to demean others. Power reveals character, and when multiple people describe the same troubling behavior, it demands attention. As more former staff come forward, the narrative continues to shift. What was once dismissed as rumor now looks increasingly like a pattern. And patterns, once visible, are hard to unsee. Thank you for staying with us through this deep dive. Stories like this are uncomfortable, but they're necessary. If you found this video insightful, consider sharing it so others can hear these voices too. Leave your thoughts in the comments, because your perspective matters. And don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth stories that go beyond the headlines. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.